Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be having some spoiler talk for The Mandalorian, so if you haven't seen it, go ahead and skip this video, come back to us in a little bit, alright? Mandalorian is back, ladies and gentlemen, and I thought, what would it be a perfect time for Big Red Reviews to make a return, and here I am. So we are back. I'm not even going to get into like non-spoiler talk. We're gonna be going straight into spoilers, so be prepared because there's a lot of big things in this episode, but one big thing, and if you've seen the episode, you know what I'm talking about, that I mainly want to touch on and talk about what that means for the future of Star Wars and what that means for the character itself and what that means for just anything in general, Mandalorian, anything. Oh, this episode, was it a good premiere? I would say it's not the best of premieres. Premieres. There's been better premieres that I've seen in the past. But it's a good episode. Now you could kind of tell it's kind of filler a little bit. It's almost like how some of the episodes in season 1 were. But to me, filler is not bad if you do it right, and I think they did it right. So basically, he's trying to find more Mandalorians. And he gets a tip about one being on Tatooine, and all of a sudden, instantly, things are going off in your head like, Mandalorian on Tatooine. Where have we seen that before? Yeah, so I'm just going to flat out say it so I can just talk about the build up to it. Boba Fett is alive after 83, 93, 03, 13, after 37 years of people guessing if Boba Fett really died. George Lucas hinting at it. They finally confirmed that Boba Fett is alive. And I thought they showed it right at the beginning, but then I forgot. So basically, in Legends, I think it was in Legends. If you don't know, Legends is what's like in between, 83 when Return of the Jedi came out, and then in between that moment and when George Lucas sold Star Wars in 2012, people were making their own stories about Luke having a wife, and all of this was kind of considered canon. And then when Disney bought it, they basically wiped everything clean of canon except the movies and some of the comics they made, and of course the Clone Wars. This story is no longer canon, but it was about some guy who found Mandalorian or Boba Fett's armor and was trying to act like him. So they kind of took inspiration from that. So basically, yeah, Mandalorian's trying to find more of his creed so they can maybe help him find Baby Yoda's home, which is a turn. I thought he was just trying to find more Jedi like him and stuff, but I guess he's trying to find more Mandalorian first. He goes on Tatooine again. It's always great seeing Tatooine, and he goes to this Moss whatever, I don't know what it's called. First off, the droid that Mandalorian talks to, so right off the bat, season 1's effects are kicking in here. He lands at that one lady's place on Mos Eisley, and she's like, he doesn't like droids, and he's like, you know what, just let him clean it up a bit. And she's like, wow, because if you remember at the end of episode 8, the season finale of season 1, he actually started liking droids again because the one droid saved his life, and that whole redemption arc for him. He goes to this village that ever since the Empire fell, has been kind of dog shit, and it's really cool because you see the Death Star explode again. And because this guy, so basically he walks in and there's a marshal, because he's like, wow, the marshal looks like you. Marshal comes in, you think, oh, it's another Mandalorian. He's wearing Boba Fett's armor. Now, I did say it was confirmed finally after 37 years, but they laid one hint. It was in a comic or a book. I think it was in a book called Aftermath. If you haven't read those, they're really good. It's about what takes place after the Empire falls and the remnants of the Empire trying to build back up, but then the new Republic comes and takes it down. Basically, they said that, I forgot exactly what happened, but they're talking about some trash place with a lot of trash in it, and they say, oh, and there was this old battered up Mandalorian armor in the corner, and that was alluding to Boba Fett. So basically, you see the camera pans up, he's wearing Boba Fett's armor, it's Boba Fett's armor, thing comes up, and there's a dent in his helmet. If you remember, Boba Fett had a dent in his helmet. So you're like, wow, so does that mean Boba Fett died? So basically the marshal, these raiders came in and lit the place up, and they wanted to turn it into a slave place, and he escaped. Jawa saved him. He had these crystals. He gave them the crystals, and he saw the Mandalorian armor. So apparently they found it. I don't know if, so I guess Boba Fett did actually, because remember, one of his jetpacks still works, so apparently he did, get out of there and just ditch the armor, because the armor did look beat up to hell. So yeah, so Mandalorian's like, that's my armor, and he's like, I'll trade you. Let's kill this dragon or whatever, and I'll give you the armor. And apparently the dragon was in Legends, and now they brought it over. I don't know, but it was super cool. It's basically like the sandworm that's going through the sand and terrorizes stuff. Team up with the Jawas to kill it, and that's basically the whole plot of this episode. And so I don't really know where it's going from here, because now, like, he got the armor, but now he doesn't really have a lead on like where to go next with Baby Yoda, because like the whole thing was like go to Tatooine to find this guy who can help you, but he wasn't an actual Mandalorian. So anyways, yeah, so it's been rumored that Boba Fett's coming back, and all in all, they kill the thing. The one thing that took me off guard was so when they go to kill the worm, it doesn't work at first, and so Mando sees like these like explosives on a tauntaun, and he's like, I know what I have to do. So he's trying to get the thing to eat it. He's like, take care of the kid for me, and I'm like, that switched up super fast, because I thought like he was like, wherever the kid goes, I go. He goes from like that to like, take care of the kid for me. I'm gonna sacrifice myself for this village, which if he was helping the village to like bring Baby Yoda home, I would have kind of understood that. He's like, finished the mission, but he was only doing this to get the armor back. So I was like, I think Baby Yoda's a little more important. So that kind of took me off guard a little bit, but I was like, whatever. He kills the thing. Everyone starts cheering, and you're like, oh wow, it's a great episode. They're going off, and the aspect ratio changes, so it looks like a movie, and you're like, something's about to happen. I think they're going off in the desert. He's going back to his ship. Pans to some dude on a cliff. And who it is, it's Boba Fett. It's I forgot his name, but he's playing Boba Fett again. If you don't know, they modeled like all the clones after this guy, and when the prequels came out, and so he's back playing Boba Fett, and he looks great. He looks like a freaking like ninja bounty hunter almost. Like he has like these 2 guns on him. He has scars. And so I really hope we get to see, and we also got, so we, like, when I said we saw the Death Star explode, we got flashbacks of the Marshal talking to Mando, like, about what happened. I hope we see some flashbacks with Boba about how, like, it would be so freaking cool to see him just, like, jumping out of the Sarlacc pit. That would be so freaking cool. And, like, I hope we see at least if we don't see flashbacks, at least I hope we hear him talk about what happened, like, how he survived and all that. Because, in Return of the Jedi, they built up the Sarlacc pit to be like this unescapable thing that digests you for thousands of years. But now he's out because he's Boba Fett. So now I'm really excited to see his arc, and I'm really excited to see whenever they do kill him. I feel like no matter who kills him or how he dies, it's not going to be like good for everyone. Like, to me, I'm like, okay, well, just kill him satisfyingly, But I feel like everyone's like not going to get the death they want from him, because now Boba Fett, you have to remember, was a small character in the original trilogy. He was in episode 5 for like 5 minutes, and then he was in like episode 6 for like maybe 10 in the beginning, and then he died. But people hyped him up over these years to be like this fucking deity, right? And then they expanded it on in the Clone Wars and the prequels. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be really interesting to deal with that hype of a character that no one really thought was going to get that hype in the first place, but now they have this hype all of a sudden after these years, so now they have to make him badass, and now they have to give him an honorable death whenever they do kill him. No Ahsoka, not yet. I think that's episode 5. No Moff Gideon, which was honestly surprising. If you don't know, Moff Gideon is like the main bad guy. He's like the guy who has the Darksaber. No mention of him. We didn't see him at all. I'm shocked. We didn't see the one shock trooper girl and the one bounty hunter guy. I forgot their names. It's been so long. We haven't seen anyone else. We only saw Mando and the girl from Mos Eisley, and then new people, and then Boba. That's all we saw. So I'm really interested to see where he's going to go from here. I can't wait to see Ahsoka. I really want to see Ahsoka fight Moff Gideon for the Darksaber. And you have to remember, I think Ahsoka, there's a good chance she could die in this. Now, the only reason I'm saying this is because this takes place after every single story of Ahsoka we've seen. Like, Rebels ended right after episode 6 ended, so that was the last we've seen of Ahsoka, and canon was, like, right after Return of the Jedi, Death Star 2 blows up. So it's really interesting to see, like, now they can actually kill her, because there's no, like, story that takes place 20 years from now, so they have to keep her alive. Like, she's actually in danger. So anytime she's fighting someone or anything, I'm actually going to be a little terrified, because, like, I'm going to be worried about what happens to her, Because like now, if Rebels never came out, then I would have been scared in the final episode of Clone Wars that Darth Maul would have killed her, you know. But I'm worried to see what happens. There's rumors that Obi-Wan might make a cameo somehow. I don't know how because he's dead, but you know, maybe Ahsoka talks to him. I think they're saving Obi-Wan for his own show though. And now we're just getting into speculation, but I think that is Sabine in the trailer. I'm just excited to see the Darksaber again. I mean, we stopped for like 3 seconds and everyone was flipping their shit. So I really want to see. I mean, the guy Giancarlo Esposito who plays Moff Gideon did say that there's going to be a lot of good lightsaber fights in this. So I'm really hyped to see it. And yeah, so overall, like I said, like for a premiere, like premiere was supposed to be over the top. It wasn't over the top, but it was a good ass Mandalorian episode. And Boba Fett's at the end, hypes you up for the whole season. I feel like that's the perfect episode to like not like in the middle of the series or anything. That's the perfect episode to. And they did it way earlier because I remember, I don't know if I mentioned it in our Mandalorian season 1 finale with Logan, but I always thought they were going to show Mando at the end of season 2 finale. Like, you know how like season 1 finale was the Darksaber? I thought Boba Fett was such a big thing, like they were going to have to show him at the end of season 2 finale, but they showed him episode 1. So that's hype. I wonder how much we're going to see him. There's also rumors that, so we're going to see Ahsoka, that the guy who plays Boba Fett, and they model all the clones after, apparently Rex is in this show, and he's going to be playing him too, so that's going to be hype, because if you don't know, Rex was in episode 6. Like, not actually, you know what I mean? Like, there was this old guy, I'll put a picture of him somewhere here. There's this old guy, and he basically, like, you know how, like, they always go back and make things, like, you know, happen because of canon or whatever? Like, he looked so much like what the clones were kind of looking, and they were like, that's what they would look like if they were older. They just made him Rex. So it was always like a theory, and it was confirmed in the final Clone Wars episode, or Rebels episode, that he did go fight Battle of Endor. So he was with Han Solo, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's for another time. Thank you guys so much for watching. What did you guys think of The Mandalorian? Did you guys think it was a strong episode? Did you guys think it was a weak episode? What are your thoughts on Boba Fett returning? Would you have rather had him dead or keep him alive? Let me know, because that's always an interesting debate. I will see you guys very soon. I figured, hey, Mandalorian's back. You know, bigger reviews might as well come back too, you know. A lot more Star Wars content on the way. We got Mandalorian, of course, Season 2. We have the Rebels sequel. We have Bad Batch, which is like a Clone Wars spinoff. And, of course, Obi-Wan starts filming in a couple months. So we'll be covering some leaks, covering some footage, and whatever we can get from that show. But they're going to be super secretive of it. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching so much. I am Joey, a.k.a. Bigger Reviews.